What's up, everybody? Welcome to West Coast POPCast. It's your boy Knock. I'll be hosting this week, and we have a great day for you guys. It's not a new day. It is not Miro Day. It is Ella Day here on West Coast Pop. Featured Ella J. I don't know how many jobs she has, but she's one of the most hardest working women in the community. I mean, let's go down the list. A wrestling gal, women's wrestling focus on SEScoops, the GAW cast for GAW TV. We love to watch that and support that. Bell to Bells, Women Talk Pod, Wrestling Zone. God damn, do you sleep, woman?
Seriously.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, especially coming off of Bound for Glory yesterday. So I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, man. We're going to talk about that for sure. I don't know if any of the guys saw it, but I did watch it.
Yes.
It was a hell of a night. So many great matches. The main man, Zach, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing very well. We have Ella here. We're going to talk about the PWI Women's 150. I'm just so excited. Stacked show. Thank you all for joining in the chats already.
Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Thank you guys for supporting. Send any questions our way in the chats. And, of course, last but not least, the champion of the WCP for another week. Eric, Infinity Champ, how you doing?
I'm living my best life. I'm the champion of WCP. I've got the Queen's crown in my corner, and I've got Tsunami in the chat repping the Just Us League, and we've got Ella J, the MVP, right above me. So I'm happy today. This is gonna be a great episode.
Yeah, great episode it is. And of course, if you actually don't know Ella J or know the channel, if you're one of our subscribers, Ella, tell them about your channel and what you do and all those different jobs you stuff.
So how it all started was with a Wrestling Gal podcast, hence my hat, my beanie.
Sure.
A Wrestling Gal podcast started in July of 2019 was my very first episode, focusing on the female perspective on all things wrestling. And then late last year, I became the editor and a part of Team GAW for Lisa Marie Varon, Mickey James, and SoCal Val. So I help out with their podcast. And then this year, I've worked for SEScoops with Women's Wrestling Focus on YouTube. I write for WrestleZone, and I'm also an on-screen host and interviewer for Women's Wrestling Talk and Bell to Bells, and most recently a contributor for PWI.
Whew.
Wow. Jeez.
My goodness.
And she's got the merch. Check out the merch for sure. We'll put that in a link below.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
I just want to promote what you did for PWI really quick, not just in the Women's Top 150, but your article. I live very close to BuzzFeed, and every time I pass, it brings a tear to my eye, a building full of people who think they're journalists. Your article in there about empowerment, that was very well done. That was a very good article. The digital issue is out now if you guys want to catch it, and the print edition comes out November 6th, I do believe.
In a couple weeks. I don't know like the exact day. I just know I ordered 10 of them. Literally.
I did not blame you.
But it is a very, very good article. It's very well written out.
Thank you so much. And I couldn't have done it, obviously, without the opportunity from Kevin and Kristen Ashley for bringing me on board for this women's issue. And obviously, also I couldn't have done it without the help of Mickey James, the new Knockouts champion, yes, Deanna Perrazzo, and Chelsea Green. So thank you to them for also contributing their insightful quotes and helping me put it all together.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to them. Before we get into the weekend, we'll get some highlights of the wrestling. Got a few questions, another Q&A for you here. There'll be some heavy hitters here, but it's going to be open up to, let's get an icebreaker here. So what got you into wrestling? We know you got wrestling, girl, but what got you into wrestling?
This guy right here, Jeff Hardy. So I was this is just over 12 years ago. So it was the summer of 2009. I was just scrolling through channels. I was in middle school at this time. And Jeff Hardy, I just see this guy in cool face paint, and it's Friday Night SmackDown. And ironically, it was the loser leaves town match between him and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ooh. So my first match I ever remember seeing in WWE is Jeff's last match in WWE in that run. And I'm just captivated by this guy, and then he's making this emotional speech. And I just remember I felt so drawn to him. I'm where are you going? What is going on here? And so then obviously week after week I would tune into Friday Night SmackDown, see the likes of DX on there sometimes, yes, with their Christmas commercials Undertaker, Batista, Mickey James, Cool, and John Morrison. And so really it was the sport of it all, and I was really going through, I was an awkward preteen, whatever, and so it really felt like an escape for me. And obviously the athletic part of it too really drew me in. So, but it was definitely Jeff Hardy, and CM Punk is the first memory I have of professional wrestling.
That's a hell of a memory, man. Jeff Hardy was on fire back then, and it was heartbreaking to see him go, but came to TNA Wrestling, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, me and Ella are New Yorkers. I don't care what anyone from New York City says. Ella's a New Yorker. So New York City
I'm from Buffalo. Every time I say, that's why I don't say I'm from New York, because everybody assumes that I'm from the city. So I just say upstate New York or like Western New York, because everybody assumes I'm from the city, but I'm like 6 hours away from there, guys.
Finally, some culture on the West Coast POPcast, a fellow New Yorker. And yes, it still counts. New York is a beautiful place, people. Get it through your minds. It's not just the city.
Yeah.
But besides that, your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. Not just name them, but who would you pick to win a Survivor Series? Survivor, the TV show.
Oh, I love Survivor. Did you like stalk my? I watch Survivor every week.
I'm watching CBS here. Watching football.
Oh.
Sorry,
I just want to make sure we understand this. So you're hosting the show, the most important episode we've ever done, and you're over here watching the football game?
I flipped it off, okay, but it's still here. I have to flip it off, okay? Anyway. Yeah, let's combine that question here. What Mount Rushmore of your women's wrestling and who you'd pick to win at Survivor?
My Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling is obviously Mickie James, Lita, Mae Young, and Mercedes Martinez. I feel like it's a good variety of people in there. Who would win in Survivor? I obviously kind of have to take Mae Young out of the running, unfortunately.
Sorry.
She wouldn't find any idols.
Yeah. I think it would be Mercedes Martinez, because she's the Latina sensation.
Yes.
She has like that grappler. She's tough. I mean, I'm sorry, Mickey, but like if we're actually talking about Survivor, which I actually watched Survivor instead of Dynamite, don't at me.
Wow.
Ooh,
We'll let the internet hear that.
Right. But I think Mercedes Martinez has that like edge, and she has a lot of experience, and I think could really outlast and like outplay and outwit everybody.
Okay. I agree. Mercedes is tough, but I would love to see what she does in TNA. You know, the home of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And then lastly, coming from New York, I know about Northeast Wrestling. I don't know if they make it up to Buffalo, but what is wrestling like in your area? Do you have any local indies?
Yeah, I actually just went to my first indie show like in person this past summer, and we have primarily three promotions. Empire State Wrestling, where I just saw Daniel Garcia 2 weeks ago. He was there. He was super cool. We also have Buffalo Championship Wrestling, BCW, which just made its return like over the summer. And then we also have Nickel City Wrestling at the Polish Cadets here, which they have a show coming up December 3rd. So I'll be going to that too. I unfortunately am going to miss the one next month at ESW where Daniel's coming back again. But those are the three primarily indie promotions around Buffalo.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah, Daniel's been on fire, by the way. I love to see what I'm seeing from him. Well, let's get into the highlights of wrestling this week. So, of course, Bound for Glory was last night. We'll talk about Mickie and Deanna separately, but what were your thoughts on the rest of the show? The Inspiration debuted and a few other people.
Inspiration opening the show was super cool. I also found it super cool that all of the girls released on April 15th 2021, Chelsea Green, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Mickie James, were all on Bound for Glory and vying for a championship. Chelsea Green obviously was in the 6-pack challenge for the Digital Media Championship. She didn't win, but she was still in it. And then the Inspiration comes out on the main card and introduces themselves. This is Jessie McKay, this is Cassie Lee, and we are the Inspiration. And I feel like going in, it was obvious they were going to win the championships, but what a debut to go in and win the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, which I think they're going to bring a lot more prestige to, because I feel like sometimes Tag Team Championships hold like a back seat to the main championship. So I'm really happy for them to see them in this new, I think, rejuvenated women's division. And obviously, like, Mickie and Deanna killed it. And then the Call Your Shot Gauntlet had a lot of pleasant surprises. And then the only thing I kind of have a gripe with is in the Rhino came out like halfway through this match. And it's like, where were you for Heath? It's like, what? And poor Heath had to endure like a handicap match for like half the match. And it's like, Rhino, where were you? But other than that, besides the ending, poor Josh Alexander got his title win ruined. Other than that, overall, it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was a great show. You know, I'm the TNA guy over here. I try to get Zach and Eric to watch as much as possible. But shout out to Jordan Grace, first Triple Crown knockout in history. That's a hell of a thing to put on your resume. inspiration. They're going to elevate the tag team titles because like they're a legit tag team. That's what you need. So I think they're going to take it around. I don't think they're going to stay in Impact. They're going to do Impact stuff. I think they're going to go other places. I think they're going to defend those belts. So I'm very excited to see what they got. Zach, did you catch any of the Bound for Glory?
I did. Unfortunately, I didn't see the Inspirations debut. The stream I had started late, so I missed that. So we'll watch that. But I do agree with you about the tag division and them going as a tag team as opposed to a singles competition speaks volumes about their friendship. I like that. And Rhino was actually in catering. He thought he was in another company until he realized he was in Impact. That's why he was late. He thought he was still in WWE.
Man.
Yeah,
man. And then speaking of the Inspiration tag team match, shout out to Rosemary and Havoc. I thought they were a great tag team. They have some good moves. Havoc put, I think it was Jesse on her knee that had Rosemary hit her with a spear. Some cool stuff in that match. Me and Eric saw Havoc at a WoW show here in LA, and she gave us the death stare that made me want to walk out the building. I was afraid.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
She's intimidating.
So, she is very intimidating. So, like, don't look her in the eye, please.
I can't remember if we were booing her or cheering her, but I know if we were booing her, we stopped.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, I love the close arena. Sometimes you get those intimate moments.
Yeah.
Besides that, which I thought I've been saying for a while that Mickie James and Deonna should have main evented. Shout out to Josh Alexander and Christian Cage, but I thought the women should have main evented this pay-per-view. Ella, how was this match for you? And I know you probably had a whole lot of emotions. I know you know them personally. What was this like to watch this? And
I might cry.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh, my birthday is actually this upcoming Tuesday. So it's on the 26th. I might cry again, like just talking about this. Like this was a huge dream matchup of mine that I have been manifesting for a while, and to actually have it come into fruition is just wild to think about. And there was consistent, steady storytelling going back to when Mickie came in at Slammiversary. So if you think about it, that's 3 months of like gradual booking leading up to this ultimate moment at Bound for Glory, where Deonna came in as number 3 on the list. She's had an incredible year, been Knockouts champ for like the last year, except for like 3 weeks when she lost it to Su Yung. So she's really been Knockouts champ the whole time and has plowed through everybody. Like Deonna had 15 straight singles match wins. She had not lost in like a long time in singles matches in Impact. So going in, I honestly was fully convinced that Deonna was going to retain. But of course, like Mickie James is always like my biggest inspiration and my favorite of all time. Of course, I was going to root for her, but I was fully expecting Deonna to honestly win. So to see Mickie like kick out of the Queen's Gambit, I'm like, oh shit. Sorry if you're not allowed to cuss on here.
Oh no, you're very much allowed to.
Nobody has ever kicked out of the Queen's Gambit. I was like, Mickie actually has a real shot of winning this. And then she did. And it made it even more special for her because she dedicated that to her sister, who passed away, unfortunately, a couple of years ago from cancer. And her sister's birthday was the day before. So just knowing that that was even more special to her. And also the first time in, I want to say since 2013. So like 7 or 8 years since she's held a major title. And now it's the Knockouts Championship. I'm so happy for her, and I'm excited to see what happens now. Obviously, we'll probably get a rematch, but then we're getting Mickie versus Mercedes Martinez.
Oh, yes. Hell yeah.
Oh, I feel like I really won. I really won last night.
And that's what counts. Yeah, and it wasn't just a Queen's Gambit. It was an assistant with the ropes. She was one of the best pile drivers, and like you said, it was a very protected move. I thought it was over at that point in time. Shout out to Mickie, and I always credit Gail Kim for like being such a great seller. But watching this match and watching Mickie matches, Mickie can fucking sell, man. She was telling a whole story. Like Deonna in the corner hitting her with the boots and stuff, and outside the ring, it was a lot. You really went through a story in this, and I loved how they did what they did with the crowd in Vegas, how they did the arena. It was really nice. So shout out to Mickie for that big moment. Zach, did you see this match?
Yeah, great match. I agree. They should have main evented. I'm in the same place with the Britt Baker title win. That should have main evented that pay-per-view as well. Yeah, it was a hell of a match. She did sell. And just before we get done with Bound for Glory, I just want to point out how I got emotional, especially you were there, Ella, at Empower. Kai Stevens, Awesome Kong, her retirement, one of the sweetest women I've ever met. I love her so much. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I'm so jealous of how Zach met Awesome Kong. I almost met her in Vegas one time, but I'm not gonna get to this story. But yeah, shout out to her for getting that Hall of Fame. I loved her her speech too, and
Yeah.
it was so fitting that Gail was one to induct her. That is one of the best feuds of all time, no question.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the actual main event with Josh Alexander. Yeah, man, he had a nice moment. Christian Cage, his family is there, and then you just screw him over. I don't even know what to say to that. Moose is the Impact champion now. Eric, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Josh Alexander getting screwed over?
I mean, I feel. I wonder how he feels, because like, imagine you have this great moment. You just go out there, you have your family, you're cheering, and then you see Moose, and you're like, oh snap, that's right, we did talk about this. Just like sneak up the back. I don't know. I feel for the guy, but it's a tough spot to be in because Moose should be near the top of the card. Like, he should be there. I don't know. It's a tough one. That's a real tough way to feel. I see both sides of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a big win. It's still in the record books that he beat a fellow Canadian, a Canadian legend,
He did.
in Christian. So that shout out to him. Any more thoughts on Bound for Glory before we move on to LJ? You got any more last thoughts?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Josh Alexander is the Impact Heavyweight Champion.
Oh.
Oh man, split it up. Bring the TNA title back.
Mhm.
Oh man, he's not my champion.
You know what?
But
I don't stand by that, because we saw Moose in person, just dead eyes staring before a match. I do not want to mess with that man. So if he wants to be champion, he can be champion.
That
Did you guys
dude
just
is.
piss off everyone you meet? Why are they always looking at you angry?
Yeah, we didn't piss him off. We were just setting up the ring, and he's just sitting there, like we set up the chairs. He's sitting there in the crowd, just like fuming. I'm like, what is this guy thinking about?
Right. I almost want to go over and be like, hey man, is everything? Do you need to talk? Are you okay?
Oh man, but yeah, he really dedicates himself to play that persona. That's when he first turned heel too, is when we saw him.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was Bound for Glory. A lot of great stuff happened last night. Was there any other highlights of this week for you, LJ? In wrestling, any promotion?
Any promotion. The Queen's Crown, not Queen's Crown, Crown Jewel, I will say, did exceed a lot of people's expectations.
Yeah.
Like, there was actually some pretty cool moments. I have not yet to actually watch the whole thing because I was at work that day, but like Bianca Belair hoisting Sasha Banks up with one arm, that was incredible. They actually got some time. I saw Riddle came out on a camel. I'm like, again, I have not watched this. Zelina Vega as Queen, I am super here for. Excited to see what she's gonna do on Raw. Obviously Roman and Brock. Roman retained. Edge and Seth was awesome, I heard. So I mean, I will say I did hear it exceeded a lot of people's expectations. So that's always a plus.
Yeah. It's always a tough one, because we tend not to watch it just because it's Crown Jewel and we don't support it. But they went all out for this one. They tried. Past ones, you could say they just kind of did the bare minimum, but good for them for trying, and good for Woods and Zelina. They deserve it.
Yeah, all hail King Woods, man. I was so happy for him. That was a big moment. To me, the way he was talking about like winning King of the Rings, like him winning W Championship.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it was. Zelina, it was great to see her get a win. Shout out to Amazing Red. She did the code red for that victory. I know she always sends tributes his way, so that was really cool to see. And then Seth can sell, man. I see Prime Time in the chat. Seth was awesome. Seth really can sell, and that was a hell of a match. It would have been match of the night, but I think the triple threat women's match took it, because Bianca and Sasha, that's Edge Cena, that's Eddie Ray. Just the chemistry is amazing. It's ridiculous what they do, man. So yeah.
Now they're on separate brands though.
I know. Why would you do that?
So we won't even really get that proper one-on-one rematch, like WrestleMania rematch.
True.
We should have got it at SummerSlam, sadly.
I know.
Zach, where's some highlights of the week for you, man? Any Ring of Honor stuff you saw?
Ring of Honor wasn't on this week. So
Really?
I was sad on Friday night. That's usually how I cap off my week. Ring of Honor, some of the best wrestling in the business, and now that they have women on, I'm even more happy. Over a year and a half without them. NXT, it just seems like they're gearing up for Halloween Havoc. They're going to start clearing house with the NXT people. So say goodbye to some NXT favorites on NXT 2.0. Raw was Raw. It wasn't bad, but again, it is what it is. I'll just do this as a highlight. Woods versus Jinder, 10 minutes. Baszler versus Doudrop, 2 minutes, 47 seconds. The entire lineup of matches, minus the one at Crown Jewel. I forgot to add them up specifically. I just know it was just over 35 minutes.
That is
Every
absurd.
match combined. Yes, it is.
That's crazy.
And last note I have here, just because I am a bitchy little gossip boy who watches Bravo shows, I am loving this stuff with Charlotte Flair on SmackDown and Becky Lynch, the drama going behind. I love this so much. I don't know whose side you guys are on, but I agree with Charlotte on this. She should have lost to Bianca on Monday night. They would have helped both women in the long run. This swapping of the titles is ridiculous, and now they get their stats bumped for absolutely no reason because a room full of writers can't do their fucking job.
Now they've done it twice, I don't care. Every year, I want to see somebody switch titles now. I want to see.
I don't want to see that.
I want to see Edge win the Raw one, and Roman can keep SmackDown. They meet up and say, "Hey, I'm coming to your show. You want to trade? I got this Squirtle. You want my Charmander? I
want to trade." Like for Pokemon.
Oh, I want it every year now. They've set that precedent. If you're gonna give us that shit, you better stand by that shit for the rest of the time.
That's why you can't color coordinate your titles. Like back in the day when Triple H went from Raw to SmackDown, he took W title and it just worked seamlessly. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. Eric, did you have any highlights of the week?
Let's see. I saw like the first half hour of Dynamite, I think, or the first match. Dustin and Bryan Danielson, the only match I watched this week, so that's my match of the week.
More than me.
I'm glad they did that for the tournament. That was a nice, feel good, nice matchup for the first round. And the G1 Climax results are somehow surprising and not surprising. We've got Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada in the finals. So one of them will challenge Shingo.
Yeah. I think it has to be Okada. I think it's time to come back. I'm very excited for the Rainmaker. And Buddy Matthews called him out.
Oh, yeah?
So you might be getting that soon.
Ooh, see, I'm rooting for Ibushi just for that 4 times in a row, or whatever, 3 times. So he get the most in a row.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
All right, well, that was the week of wrestling. I think let's move on to the next one here. Let's just get straight to it. Let's get to the PWI Women's 150 list. Zach, do you have the top 10 for that on you right now?
Ella, do you have it? Actually, I do have it up. But of course, number one is Bianca.
Yeah. I have it memorized.
Oh, well, there we go.
All right, so I know we got Bianca number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Once she had that WrestleMania match, the Royal Rumble, it's hard to argue with that. Where was Utami again?
Utami was number 2. I will say that it came down to a tie-breaking vote between number 1 and number 2. It was literally 3-3, and then we had a tiebreaker. They've said this, like I won't get in trouble for saying this. And then the editor-in-chief had the tie-breaking vote.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. So, I don't know, Eric, I don't know if you know too much about her. Do you?
No, I'm very behind in Stardom.
Okay. So, I've been getting back into Stardom, and this is one of the matches I had saw. It was Utami versus Siri. And I think it happened back in July-ish, August?
43 minutes.
43 minutes. I'm not going to give away the ending. But my word, these women hit each other. Like, I don't know what they did. I love the presentation of Stardom. They came up like, I'm a big fan of Pyro, man. You get Pyro and I'm going for it. Then they come in the ring. It's just intensity. They're hitting each other. It reminded me of back in the day when I used to watch like the All Japan stuff with, what's her name? Aja Kong and all those women just really hitting each other. So, it's between Bianca and Sasha at Mania, and then that match for match of the year period for me. Like that was insane. And then Diana had her at 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say definitely check out this digital edition because there are women like Utami that I'm not familiar with. They have buttons you can press on there. It'll take you to a YouTube link with either an interview or a match. Very nice touch by PWI.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's a heck of a top 5. All these women had match of the year contendership. Diana with her run, and then Britt and Thunder ran up the top 5 with that hardcore match they had on Dynamite. Ella, I'll just ask you real quick before I open up to Zach and Eric. Is there anyone on the list we should look out for as far as the next year's coming up who you think will move up into like maybe a top 10, top 20-ish who's not already there?
Yes. I thought of 2. Oh, yeah. So I have 3 people. Trish Adora, I think is just going to keep climbing and climbing. And I just did an interview with her that aired yesterday on Bell to Bell. She still is the Pan-African Diaspora Champion. She is now also signed to Ring of Honor.
Yes.
So it is possible that she'll get some more eyes on her with Ring of Honor, but also work a lot more independent dates, and she wants to travel more. She has a lot of plans. She said and I quote, she has a pretty lofty schedule coming up next year. So I think if she continues forward, top 10 is like a guaranteed. She was the highest ranking unsigned talent during the evaluation period at number 18. Also, Mercedes Martinez, now that she is back and has the freedom, whether she'll sign with Impact, we don't know yet, but she's been doing amazing so far, winning the Knockouts Knockdown tournament. And I think another underdog, possibly for top 10, is Masha Slamovic, if not top 20. She was number 29. But Masha is now also signed with Impact. And so she still has plenty of championships on the indies too, but she has that experience level from Japan, just returning to the US this year, and has really ruled everywhere. We saw her in AEW, like Beyond, WWR Plus, Impact, like at NWA Empower.
Yes.
She really is going to rule this next year if she continues, and assuming Impact books her right, which they normally do for their women. So you can think Masha Slamovic, but two other people I think that maybe top 30, top 40, I feel like are kind of underrated, is Sky Blue. I pushed for her hard to be in the top 50%. And she was number 74. And she has a really big like fan base following, which I don't think a lot of people realize. And she's been popping up in AEW, obviously NWA. She has 2 championships right now as the 0-1 women's champion, and also a former Chicago style wrestling champion. So she's won, and now that Charlie Evans is back in the US from Australia, and she is still the current Pro Wrestling Eve tag champ, she can hop from Australia to the UK to the US. So Charlie Evans is definitely one to watch out for too.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay, that's a good list. I was hoping Lulu Pence would be a little higher up, but it's all good. Eric, I think you would love her. I don't know if you know about her, but I think you would love her character, man. It's just Japanese.
With Emmy, they're amazing.
Very nice. I'll check her out.
Yeah. I don't think she's an actual wrestler. I think she thinks she's like a journalist. She does like the valet stuff now, but it's just great.
Oh, okay. I mean, good valet is always needed.
I think she was number 500. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Yeah, she was number 500 on the 500 list. So
okay, nice.
I just thought it was hilarious, but it's cool. Eric, did you get a chance to look at the list?
I skimmed through before we started. I already forgot who's where besides Roxy, because I know Zach has a question about that later. But I was just curious. So, how do you, I guess, evaluate these women? How do you decide who goes where? What were your criteria when you're, making your vote?
Well, I think a lot of the criteria is in the, there's like a little blue blurb in there. And so the evaluation period people have to remember is from October 1st of 2020 to September 30th of 2021. So it's like literally just the cutoff was a couple weeks ago. And so obviously we look at like activity, like the consistency of their work, influence, whether that's culturally, again, like Bianca Belair, again, a lot of the reason why she was number 1 was that cultural and mainstream influence she has had on, and also with representation and stuff like that. In-ring ability and like technical ability, of course, is always important too. And the quality and breadth of competition. So like if you're somebody who's winning though against like rookies, it's not as valued as if you were compared to people with experience or actual like more experienced competitors. So there's a lot going into this, and of course like win-loss records and stuff. And so like the reason why some people weren't ranked as high, a big part was like activity. Like Charlotte Flair, for example, is number 15, which I think a couple people might be surprised by, like she wasn't top 10. But you have to remember she was gone for the first basically 3 months of the evaluation period, and then for a couple weeks leading up to WrestleMania. So she was inactive for like a quarter of the period. And same with Sasha Banks. Had Sasha Banks not necessarily been gone for 4 months, like after Mania to like the beginning of September, perhaps she definitely would have been higher. So it's definitely a lot of things. There's something else. Oh yeah. And to qualify, you had to have 6 matches in 6 different months, or like just 10 matches throughout the evaluation period. It was the pandemic changed. It used to be 10 that you needed, but the pandemic limited a lot of people. So they changed it to 6 matches in 6 different months. So that's some of the criteria. I believe I covered most of it.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely hit on a lot of stuff there. I really think if Sasha had that SummerSlam match, man, she would have been a little higher. But
yeah, like I said, she was gone for like her activity. She wasn't active the whole time, which is why she was bumped a little bit lower than perhaps what she could have been easily top 5. But who's to say?
Right.
Yeah. The only one I don't know too much on is Tom Nakano from Stardom, but I need to see more. I keep seeing her name pop up, but I got to see more of her matches.
Tom Nakano. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not one who's too familiar with Joshi, but we luckily had a Joshi like expert in JPQ, so he pushed hard for her, and it was hard to argue. And there's some stats too in there, like her top 5 moments and why she's number 9, I believe. So you can definitely check that in the issue too.
Okay. Yeah, it's a hell of a list there. Siri, of course, Io Shirai, number 8, and then Raquel Gonzalez rank out in the top 10. Zach, do you have anything you want to add to?
So the last thing in the criteria, emphasis was placed on success within women's divisions and promotions. That might answer my question on this one. I don't even think I would have put her in my top 50. I do like her. When she was in the ROH tournament, I was very happy she was in there. But Roxy at number 28, she's very, very green. About 2 weeks ago, I do believe, if not 3, she cut an unbelievably green promo on ROH TV. So I just want to know, I guess, why she got number 28, but that in the criteria may have answered that because she did go through the entire tournament and win. But in my opinion, that tournament, ROH is going through a period where they want to kind of reinvent themselves. They said it was going to be done late summer. I mean, asking Santa for Christmas presents already. Let's go ROH. But they're gonna have more eyes on them. So I thought Angelina Love or Alizé would have been a great choice for the champion, just because you want someone to fully represent your brand. That is a highly competitive division in ROH. So I guess my question is, what exactly puts Roxy above someone who I believe could main event any company's pay-per-view right now? I love her. She just is so good. I think she's what they want Jade Cargill to be. Coming in at number 32, Camille. So I guess what's the balance between those two? That was the only thing that I'd questioned on. Everything else was just basic, I think, personal preference. If you like someone, you want to see them up higher.
And again, I can't speak for everybody because there was 7 people on this committee, but I can say I was definitely one who pushed for Roxy to be top 30. And so alone in the evaluation period, she has held 4 championships. Obviously, the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. I believe she's the Sabotage, is it Gender of Wars or something champion. She was also the current New Texas Pro Women's Champion. And also for the first, I think, month and a half, she was also the Reality of Wrestling Women's Diamond Division champion. So in that period alone, she's held 4 major championships. Obviously, she also plowed through Ring of Honor. She also had a title opportunity against Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship, which was the first time that it was defended outside of the Impact Zone in the US in like 10 years. So that, I think, itself speaks volumes. This was around WrestleMania weekend. That itself speaks volumes. She's really been at the forefront of a lot of like the Texas scene, getting a lot of eyes on her and getting a lot of cool opportunities. And like, she has had some incredible matches. She definitely has the in-ring ability to back it up. She was definitely active throughout the whole entire period. And so for that reason, and also becoming the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's Division, and I mean, she beat Sumi Sakai, she beat Angelina Love, she beat Miranda Alizé, which, to be honest, I was convinced they were going to go with a veteran or a more established talent to win the whole thing either. But obviously Maria Canales and Creative sees something in her, and so do I. And she's had definitely great quality of competition. And so for that reason, I think she rightfully belongs in top 30. Like, people know her name if you pay attention. Like, and for me, that was definitely why I definitely pushed hard for her to be top 30.
Do your homework, Zach.
Shuts me up.
Actually,
ain't she only like 19 too? Like, beat Jay Lethal's
He literally turns 20 in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Primetime said. So young and great.
In terms of Camille, though, Camille is still relatively new. I think she's only had like less than 50 matches, if I'm correct. She's still relatively new to the wrestling scene. But like, she didn't become champion until about July, I believe it was. Yeah. And obviously has been dominant ever since. And of course, she's aligned with like Strictly Business. And again, NWA doesn't have as frequent what's it called, showings as like other companies or
Mm-hmm.
indies. And I mean, she's had successful title defenses against like Layla Hirsch, Serena Deeb, Kenzie Page, and like had a great showing at NWA Empower, beating Chelsea Green too, who she defended against. But I feel like most of her momentum was in the latter half of the evaluation period when she became more at the forefront of NWA, whereas like, and again, this is just me speaking, and again, more somebody like a Roxy was consistent throughout the whole entire period in her activity from what I can recall. So I think Camille definitely, if she keeps dominating NWA, she definitely has the possibility to be top 20, top 10 too next year.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Real
You got something there?
Yeah, so you kind of answered my question just that by answering Zach's. But so when we started the channel, we used to do like Pop 10. We do like a list of our top 10 things. And when I did like top 10 wrestlers of 2020, people would hit me up and say, "What? How is Hangman above this person? How are the Bucks not top 10?"
Like, oh.
So I mean, I guess my question was, how do you deal with that? But I guess we just saw you did your homework, you know your research.
Granted, I know my research on. So I mean, I was kind of brought in as like I knew my indie girls. Obviously I knew a Roxy. I pushed hard for Masha Slamovic to get her spot too, and made a case for that too. So that's part of the reason why Masha is where she is. And Kristen Ashley said that like I definitely went hard for Masha too. And so I don't know a lot of the Joshi girls. Of course, I know the WWE, AEW, like Impact girls, but I was primarily brought in for my indie, I wouldn't say expertise, but knowledge, like, because I'm pretty good with the Australian, UK, and US scheme, and a little bit with NWA. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
That definitely does. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do some tier lists on the channel too. Like, oh, how do you put this guy there? What
you have to keep in mind too, there was definitely some people that I thought should have been way higher.
Yeah.
That I fought for, but again, you have to remember that it's in a group of 7 people.
Right.
Like I personally thought Alexa Bliss should have been way higher than she was. But I mean, you win some, you lose some. Wrestling is so subjective, and it's not just me, it's literally 6 other people. So we have to compromise and of course make cases for it. But at the end of the day, it's 7 people making a collective decision. So overall, I am pretty satisfied with our list, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really good list, man. I'm glad they expanded it too.
Yeah, and it's likely going to keep even expanding even more. So that's super exciting too.
Very nice.
I think Bliss's placement on here is a good example of, you may be popular, but look what you want to do in a calendar year. It's almost like when you start a New Year's resolution. Like, how do you want your year to play out? Do you want to be the workout horse, or do you want to be you should kind of have goals.
I pushed for her to be a lot higher. But obviously we can't all, I mean, there are definitely some other people on there who people thought should have been ranked higher or lower. But again, it's 7 people making a collective decision. So I will take it. I got my Roxy and my Masha in the top 30, so I'm happy with that.
Maybe she'll look at this, and now that she's on a break, come back and be like, I don't want to do this gimmick, I want to do this. It's great that she's having fun with it, but this kind of a list can light a fire under some people.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Masha. I first saw her at, we had a few Santino's guys we trained with that are at Pandemonium Wrestling a little up in North Cal, and she was there. And then ever since I saw her there, she's been literally everywhere. I don't know what place she hasn't been yet. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on for the PWI list there. Great list. Definitely check it out. Where can they get this list, actually? Anybody quick second?
I believe it's at pw-illustrated.com, and if you Google PWI, like Pro Wrestling Illustrated, I'm sure you can find it. And I think they have it in their pinned link on Twitter. Right now you can obviously order the digital version and get it right away, or you can pre-order the physical copy that comes out in a few weeks, which I ordered 10, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, I gotta get that, man. I gotta get a collection. Those are nice. Moving on real quick, we got a game we do weekly here, a push or shove. So pretty much I'll have a statement and you push if you like, shove if you dislike. First one up here. So I did ask this one before, but I kind of want to see your opinion on this. AEW should sign Paige Van Zandt.
Push. They should. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she can bring some legitimacy to it. So that's why I kind of put it up there.
Yeah.
And she seems like she already has an idea of how to move in the ring a little bit. And then Eric and Zach already answered this one. The next one. Whoever is responsible for Sasha Banks' wrestling attire deserves all the awards in their day. push or shove? Because
Oh,
wow,
so Mikaze? I mean,
it's her husband.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, this dude is talented.
Push, yeah, is Mikaze. He does amazing work. So
He
push
does.
all the way.
I would wear her outfits. They are fucking great.
Somebody's gonna take you up on that, Zach.
Bring them. I wear the same gray shirts on every episode. I'm fine.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. I wasn't sure if it was her husband or not, but like, damn. Yeah, push that to the moon. Wrestlers taking shots at each other on Twitter. We've been seeing a few guys. I've seen Britt Baker go after Jade Cargill, and obviously the other ones at Roman and CM Punk and whatnot.
As long as it's not like really offensive or like derogatory or something like that to an extreme, then absolutely push, because it really fuels a feud. And I feel like, especially if you're not getting an opportunity, like a couple weeks, like Sonya and Naomi were not featured, but they were continuing their segments on Twitter and stuff, so it helps them continue and have that exposure. So again, as long as it's not like offensive or derogatory or anything like that, like push to the moon, like use your social media platform to elevate it.
Yeah.
Next one here, the TNA AEW partnership is over, but it was a success.
I agree with that. I don't know, what would that be? Like, I agree with that statement.
So I push.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, it was not a full success. They could have done a lot more. I had to rethink your statement. They could have done a lot more. They could have definitely done a lot more than besides Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers. I think wasn't Santino and Ortiz in there?
Yeah, I think they were there a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah, so like 5 people, like 5-6 people, and none of the girls. So they could have done a lot more.
Yeah. Agreed. That's exactly it. It's hard to push or shove it, because I'm glad it happened. When it happened, that was amazing. But it could have been 1,000 times better.
Yeah, it wasn't to their full potential, I think.
Yeah.
Zach, you agree?
Oh, I agree. I mean, like this is like if you're going to Disneyland and you buy like the cheap pass, you don't get to ride all the rides that you want to ride. So I mean, they should have went all out with it.
Yeah.
I want more. Again, we talked about this on the show. More people need to watch non-AEW and WWE products, so we can see more of the people like that were featured in the 150 list. This should have helped Impact more. Their ratings are just so down right now. It almost makes me sad that they are the 3rd biggest in the country right now.
But 205 Live is taking up too much of my time.
You watch 205 Live?
I swear, every time I've tried to watch 205 Live randomly for like this podcast, I fall asleep during it, and I'm like, ugh. It's not because of the wrestling. It's
unfortunate, because there's actually some pretty good talent.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the NXT girls have gotten more opportunities recently, and a few of the NXT guys. But it hasn't been as valued.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, it's hard to care for something when it's like, I think like I can't
That's
remember
clearly not cared about.
Yeah,
exactly.
Someone got released right when they won the #1 contender shot.
Oh my god! Yeah,
yeah. I remember that. Oh my gosh, 205 Live should be a lot better.
It should be.
My thing with and then just throw this one there for the Halloween. It's Halloween coming up here. Whose party are you going to? The Broken Hardys in the Hardy compound? The House of Black with Malachi and Zelina, the Keep with the Dark Order, or the Graveyards of Tijuana with Thunder Rosa?
Oh man,
God, I'd love to go to the Hardys, but then you said the Dark Order, and I know Johnny.
I know you love the Dark Order.
Johnny can party. Johnny party.
I'm going with Thunder Rosa. I want a real party. I want someone who does not steal Chris Farley bits, and I don't think there's rideshare going out to the Hardy compound.
You don't want to take a bath in the lake of reincarnation. Yes.
No, that might throw my back. If I get down there.
Who do you say, Ella? Whose party you go to?
Oh man, I think I would go to the Dark Order just for KJ.
Yes.
and I mean, I guess Adam Page is kind of a part of the Dark
Kinda.
Order too. So I'm here for it.
He'll show up and leave early.
Yeah.
Show up on a horse and just ride out.
Oh man, yeah, I think the Dark Order for sure will have the best party here. No offense to the House of Black or Hardy compound. And then just the last one for Push Shove here. The Inspiration are gonna hold multiple titles next year in 2022.
Like just in general, like outside of Impact too?
Outside of Impact, yep, all that.
Yeah, I think they are. Push.
Yeah.
I mean, they should, and I think they will. So push.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're the ones to do it.
Yeah, I see him doing it for sure, man. Maybe go to NWA, have a rivalry with them. I think Sienna Kay and Marty Bell.
Yes.
They have a
some nice
title
stuff.
defense coming up on this Wednesday against the Allure on Ring of
my
Honor
gosh.
Women's Division Wednesday. So
Oh boy.
TNA is everywhere, man. I told you, Zach. You gotta watch TNA
No.
more, Eric. You gotta watch TNA more.
They're in my house.
Everywhere I
Ring of
look.
Honor.
But it's Angelina Love. But yeah, let's push a shove. I think for our last few segments here, Eric, you got a game for us.
I do. So, LJ, I'm gonna ask you: have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
no,
Oh wow.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine.
Neither
'Cause
have I.
neither have
I
I.
haven't.
None of us have played Dungeons and Dragons
I
before.
stepped on your toes there.
But today, we're gonna try. We're gonna try our hardest. So basically, I should have been doing my work at my day job, but for some reason, this idea popped into my head where I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had ourselves a nice adventure-style matchup in our imaginations? So,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you all to pick from a list of characters that I have here for you. I spent all week making these characters. We've got the cheater, lie, cheat, and steal. We've got the high flyer. We've got the powerhouse. We've got the striker. We've got the blue-blooded babyface. We've got technical wrestler. And lastly, we've got the supernatural character. Feel free to pick any character that stands out to you. If you need me to repeat the list, let me know.
My first thought goes to the striker. I feel like, but also like you could be a cool like technician too and be like really strategic with stuff.
You could.
But I mean, I like the striker like because I like that strong style, like high impact, like striking and like clocking your opponent. And there's some cool competitors that are known for striking, so I think I have to go striker.
Very nice. Knock, how about you?
You know I'm going to the skies, man.
Very nice. I made that one just for you. I was hoping you'd pick that one. Zach, who have you got?
I'm gonna go Supernatural. Halloween.
Supernatural? All right.
Okay.
In a second, I'm going to send you guys a quick link with your character. Here, if you go to the Zoom chat, Ella, here's yours. This
okay.
first one's going to be yours. And the way this is going to work is your character, they have abilities. They've got tricks, they've got health. Basically, you three are going to be in a 6-man or trios tag match against 3 other characters that I've made up. Now, just like real D&D, you can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. However you think the situation is going to help you win the match, you can do it. It's all going to come down to the roll of a dice, which I will pull up on screen in a second for our viewers. It's going to be a 15-minute match, and Knock, this last link is going to be for you.
Oh wait, so which one is?
First
Mine's
one's
the
for
first
Ella.
one.
Yep,
Okay, I had to request access.
gotcha.
You denied me access, Eric.
Oh yeah,
Hold
I'm
on.
always denying you. That's just...
Oh, it says access denied for me.
Ooh, hang on a
Oh.
sec. Let's share this. But real quick.
I'm terrible at this.
While you're doing that, Eric,
Go
let's
ahead.
see what the chat says. Yeah, Supersonic, what's up, man? You see you pushing the elite, your party with Thunder Rosa. You would have paid for more ads for Tony Khan. Those were kind of funny to be getting. Prime time in the chat. Hi, Ella. Do you wrestle top two? Do you wrestle two?
I do. The last time I ever stepped into a wrestling ring was 10 years ago, meeting Jeff Hardy, and I could not get through the ropes and accidentally kicked the security guard in the face.
Oh,
I can't
Man.
make that up. And then I met Jeff Hardy, and I was a mess.
Well,
I love him though.
you're not the only one who messed up in front of a wrestler.
That was the first and last time I've been inside a wrestling
Oh,
ring.
man.
Okay, I got my
Well,
document.
everything about that wrestling ring
Okay,
hurts,
yeah.
so maybe it's the best thing. Just stay out of
Oh
there.
gosh.
Supersonic X, you're more combat focused character, so striker. Oh, okay. Like the Malachi Blacks, Shinsuke's. Add that Air Percy Carter, party with the Dark Order, baby. All right,
You
man.
know it. It ain't a private party. It's a Dark Order party. All right, so everyone should have their thing up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just send
You're
you
gonna have to
this.
explain this again though.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna explain it as we go. So,
Okay.
basically, match starts. And you guys are going to decide what you want to do. I'll ask you, you're each going to take turns. I'll ask you in turn, what do you want to do to progress in the match, to win the match? If you want to hit your opponent, if you want to punch him, you can punch him. I'll roll a dice. Depending on what it comes on, the result will be known. If you look at your characters, you've got some skills there. Passive skills, you don't have to do anything about. Like, I will let you know if they apply.
Okay.
You got signature moves. For example, knock, your signature move there. You got springboard cutter. Your finish moves a senton. They require certain rolls to hit. Basically, it's choose your own adventure game. That's the short end of it. So,
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and set a timer for this 15-minute match, and we're gonna get started. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think so.
As I promise that as we go, I will do a better job of explaining it. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your first match of Fantasy Pro Wrestling. We've got a trios match lined up. We've got the trios team of Zach, Ella, and Knock. As the match starts, we've got to decide who is the first legal man of the match. Who do you guys want to have start the match for your team?
Are we choosing a wrestler?
You're choosing yourselves. Like, who amongst you are going to start the match? Because only one person can be a legal man.
Not me.
I'm still coming down the ramp, so that's me.
We get that Roman Reigns entrance.
Knock.
All right, I'm
Knock,
jumping in.
All right. Now, basically, I'm going to weave a story for you guys. Now, while you guys were deciding who's going to be the legal man, unfortunately, the other three have already jumped you.
Oh, great.
Roll the dice. They roll a 14. They have started attacking you. They've jumped all of you. They're stomping on you. You each lose 10 points of damage. Now, Knock, you're the legal man. You're the first person to take your turn. What do you do after the beatdown? How do you commence the match?
Well, I guess I'm tagging out, man. I need a breath.
Your breath, all right.
Zach, man, jump in.
We roll a dice, 11. The opposing team stops beating on you long enough for you to slither over to your corner and tag in Zach. Zach, you're in the ring now. What do you do? How do you respond to your opponent?
I charge him with a clothesline.
All right. We roll a dice. 14, Zach. Your opponent's laughing at you, seeing that you've been beaten down even before the match starts. Their eyes are not even on you, but you're angry. You're supernatural. You charge in. You hit them with a lariat. They go down to the mat. They lose 15 points of damage. Your opponent rolls their dice for their turn. They roll a 4. They get up, angry at you, and they decide to hit you with a clothesline of their own. They bounce off the ropes. They run into you, but it has no effect because your supernatural powers keep you protected.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, what do you do now that they have not phased you?
I attack again.
What kind of attack are we going for?
Do I do one of my active skills?
Let's see. Supernatural. You've got Terrify. Okay, so with this, if you roll a dice,
The Havoc scare.
if you get a 10 or 14, your opponent will be scared shitless for the next 2 turns and will lose. Rolls. You rolled an 18. So for the next 3 turns, your opponent will have -4 for their roll.
Cool.
They roll, and they're terrified. They're scared shitless. They try to tag out, but they're so terrified they fall over their own feet and fall face down on the mat, losing another 5 points of damage. Zach, what do you do now?
I tag in Ella.
Very nice. You go for the tag. 12. Zach, tired of playing these games, tags in Ella the striker, who watches her opponent just scrambling on the floor, almost with a broken nose. That's how hard they fell face first. Ella, what do you do?
Punches and bunches.
Ooh. Active skill. So basically now, Ella, we're going to roll the dice 3 times. You have to call, is it going to be even or odd? If
Odd.
All right. First one is even. We're going to roll again. Even. Even. So
get it. Wow, come on.
Your opponent gets up. He sees Ella's in the match, and he decides, okay, new opponent, new chance. But Ella rushes in, going for strikes, and somehow her opponent is dodging every single one, going left, right, floating like a butterfly. Ella is unable to land a single punch. The crowd begins to laugh. It's almost kind of sad. The opponent, though, they roll a 3. They decide to throw a punch of their own. Ella, in turn, is dodging left, right, up, down. No one is hitting any strikes. No one is hurting anyone.
Hell of a match.
Meanwhile, on the outside, the other 2 illegal men decide to go after knocking Zach. We're going to roll to see what they do. It is an 8. They run after knocking Zach. They try to attack you to sweep your legs off, but knock Zach, you both dodge. Knock, what do you do with the opponents attacking you?
What am I doing? Active skills. Can I go for my signature move?
You
springboard
can.
cutter.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, go ahead.
Springboard cutter. Let's go for it, man.
Okay, fine. Knock. After dodging your opponent attacking you on the outside, you jump down, you throw him into the ring, and you decide to go for a springboard cutter. You run towards the rope, and the referee cuts you off. He says you are not the legal man. He throws you out, back onto the apron you go. Your opponent, however, that you threw into the ring is still in the ring and decides to take this opportunity to attack Ella from behind. Ella, you lose 10 points of damage.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
It's all right.
You're fine.
I left you hanging.
Ella, what do you do to your legal opponent who's in the ring?
Float like a butterfly.
Let's see. That one is okay. So that was a passive skill. So that's something that you don't have to do anything for. Like if you want, you can literally do whatever you imagine. If you want to punch them, you want to push them. If you want to pin them somehow, or a signature move. Imagine you're watching a wrestling match and you just want to what would you see a person doing?
A Superman punch.
Let's go.
Superman punch for the roll. It is an 8. Ella gets up from the attack from the illegal partner. She gets up. She runs against the rope, getting ready for a Superman punch, and her opponent ducks it. Not only does he duck it, he actually rolls her up in the schoolboy pin. And 1, 2. Ella kicks out 2.5.
Yo, what difficulty you played on there? Come on.
I suck.
Ella, since your opponent went for a pin, what do you do next? That you've kicked out.
I tag out. I'm doing terrible.
Oh, man.
You roll for the tag. You get a 9. Ella, you dive for the tag. Your opponent grabs you by your ankle, is pulling you back. You're not sure if you're going to make it, but Zach is reaching out for the tag. He's reaching. Knock. Do you want to try and help Ella get the tag? Because that 9 is not going to make it. Do you want to jump in and try to help her?
I want to jump in, man. I can help the team.
All right. It's a 7. Knock runs in and attacks the opponent holding Ella. So Ella does get the tag. However, the opposing illegal partners run in and jump Knock. So Knock ends up taking 10 points of damage. But Zach, you are the legal man. What do you do?
How many people are in the ring?
Right now, Knock is
Steiner
getting beat down.
Math.
There's an illegal man in the ring, and there's 4. You.
I'm standing on the apron.
Yes, Ella's back on the apron.
I have got no damage at all. I haven't hit nobody.
All right, I'll go for a big boot to the legal person.
All right, big boot to the legal person. We roll 19. Zach, you come into the ring. You're feeling hot. You hit a big boot straight to the dome of who's legal. He takes 20 points of damage. But then you're feeling so hot again. The guy gets back up. You hit him again. Another big boot. Another 10 points of damage. The third illegal partner, he sees this going on. He's angry. He comes in. Zach, third big boot. That person takes 10 points of damage. Zach, you're on fire. We roll for the other team. They roll a 4. The legal man gets up. He attacks Zach, and Zach just lifts him up, throws him over for a gorilla press. LJ, on the outside of the ring, we've got an illegal person coming at you. They're running at you. They're trying to sweep your leg off the apron. What do you do?
Knockout shot.
Ooh, that's a perfect 20. That means, Ella, you see the person running at you. You jump off the apron, you cock back, and you knock him clean out.
Let's
that
go.
Person
Nice.
is out for the next 2 turns. That means it is officially basically a handicap match now. Meanwhile, in the ring, Zach, what do you do against your legal opponent?
I terrify them.
Oh, another terrify. This one, unfortunately, does not work. You roll a 3. They see you trying to terrify them, and instead, they laugh. They flip you off, and they're like, who do you think you are? As a matter of fact, they actually slap you in the face, taking away 5 points of damage.
I blame production. We did this very well during the pandemic era, and now it's just not working live.
Your opponent, they decide to go for their finishing move on Zach after the slap, which is a super kick to the face, trying to bring it back old school. They roll a 2, they go for the super kick, and it doesn't affect you. It's the weak sauce. You're wondering, what the heck was that? What's going on here? Zach, what do you do after that weak kick?
I give him the exact same kickback.
Exact same kickback. You roll an 18. Zach takes a step back. Super kick to the dome when her mama ain't home. They go down. Zach, you decide to go for the pin. It's a 2. They kick out at 2.
Damn.
What do you do?
Come on,
next?
ref.
I take Ella back in.
You roll. It's a 13. You walk over to Ella. You tag her back in. Ella, your opponent is still on the floor, knocked senseless. What do you do?
Shining Wizard.
Let's go.
Oh,
Nice.
Shining Wizard going for the finishing move. Requires an 18 to hit. You roll a 16. Ella, as your opponent starts to get groggy, you run towards the ropes. You get ready for the Shining Wizard. However, the opposing team's illegal partners pull the rope down, so you actually fly over the top rope to the outside. You take 5 points of damage. The opposing team rolls a 1. They try to double team you, but Ella, you're too fast. You actually end up punching him, knocking him down to the floor for 10 points of damage, and you get back in the ring. What do you do next, Ella?
Superman punch.
Come on, it got a hit for a 20.
It's a 20. Which means,
There we
Ella,
go.
you run against the ropes, you duck your opponent's lariat, you run against the ropes again, you duck again. Third time you hit the ropes, you got momentum on your side. Superman punch! And your opponent is knocked out. They lose their next turn. So, Ella, you get to decide. Do you want to go for the pin, or do you want to follow up with a move?
We go for the pin.
Let's
We're
go
going
for the pin.
It's a 15, 1, 2, and 3.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners and the first ever trios champions, Ella J, Knock, and Zach. Great job.
We
I
made a
appreciate you.
comeback, guys.
Let's go.
That's right.
That's how you write wrestling.
Absolutely did. And you know the best part is you guys were just 2 minutes away from the overtime. So you know you didn't go Broadway. Good job.
Nice.
Like they told
I
me in
got
my
an A in the
cubicle
group
job,
project.
teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh man.
But good job. I just want to make clear for everyone in the chat, they didn't know what I had planned and they adapted on the fly. So good for you guys for making that work somehow.
Yeah. How long
Nice.
did it take you to make this whole man? A lot of different things, different scenarios.
I literally what was it? Every day this past week, as soon as I got home, I had to write a character, and then I think was it yesterday? I spent like 3 hours finishing up and trying to plan
Damn.
the scenarios. So
Okay.
thank you guys for doing such a great job. I know I did not give you any prep work at all, and it's very hard because none of us have ever played Dungeons and Dragons, but that is essentially
Nope.
what it is.
Shout out to Ella for playing along, man. Appreciate
Yes, thank you
That
so
was
much,
fun.
Ella. Did you think you were gonna pick up the win for your team?
No, because I did not start off hot with my punches and bunches or bunches and bunches.
The most devastating move in wrestling.
Right?
it. That's how you book a babyface.
I'll tell you this: there was one thing that was supposed to happen that didn't happen. Knock was supposed to
What?
get injured. He was supposed to get concussed.
Why was I supposed to get concussed?
The plan was I wanted you to tag in and go for a high flying move, and then your character would get taken out, and then maybe
Oh
you'd
my
come
God.
back for a big comeback. But you know what, Ella J.
Well,
this
it's a good
was my
thing Zach
tag-
tagged me in.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's my tag team partner, folks. I get the injury.
But that's fantasy pro wrestling. Thank you guys for playing along.
Nice
Gotcha.
job, Eric.
All right, Zach, I'm gonna throw it to you real quick to finish up our last 3 segments. Ella, are you still good on time?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna hit the chat real quick. I've seen a lot of people jumping in there. Sam Charm, Crack It Up, Chloe, Val, Carnage Rage, what's up, man? That Lance Archer moonsault. Yeah, I hope he's okay, man. He looked very dazed, but he seems like he's gonna be just need some recovery time to be okay. Val says, "What do you do next, bruh? Not really." Ella reminds me of Chloe Moretz. Is that the Kick-Ass girl?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's her voice and her. Have you got that before?
Chloe Grace Moret. No,
Yeah.
that's the first time.
Okay.
She's pretty cool.
Okay. Shout out to Val. We're moving on from there. Zach, what is your segment here?
We're going to play a game called Who's That Girl? We cannot use the Madonna song for copyright reasons, but Ella J, you work on GAW TV, Grown Ass Women TV with Mickey James, SoCal Val, and Lisa Marie. So I'm just going to run down 10 questions here. You just tell me who that girl is. I know Grown Ass Women, but for the sake, again, of my nostalgia, who's that girl? All right. Who's that girl guest starring on episodes of VIP and Nikki?
Lisa?
That's it. All right. Who's that girl watching episodes of Real Housewives and RuPaul's Drag Race UK?
Val.
There you go. She's got good choices in her television. Who's that girl co-starring in the upcoming short 1013?
The only person active in like acting right now is probably Mickey. So Mickey?
Oh, well, IMDb may have lied to me, but SoCal Val.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
In production right now, so we'll see. Who's that girl that played violin for 5 years?
Oh, Mickey.
Yep. Who's that girl win ESPN2's Fitness America series in 1997?
Lisa.
Yeah. And who's that girl in a 2013 Dr. Pepper ad?
Probably Mickey.
It is. It's actually a pretty cool ad. It's, I think, about 2 to 3 minutes. It's really good, actually. Who's that girl in a 2009 promo for the video game Fear 2?
Lisa was in a transitional period with WWE and Impact. Val was more backstage, so it has to be Mickey, right?
It was Val.
It was Val, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I remember that game. All right. Who's that girl getting a heart tattoo on her ankle and keeping it hidden from her parents because she's still in high school?
Oh, man. Mickey has a thing. Mickey has a heart, like, she has a thing here. And is it on her ankle, though? I think it is Mickey.
It is Lisa Marie.
I don't know anything.
Who's that girl working at the Olive Garden?
Lisa?
When you're there, your family, that is Mickey James.
Those breadsticks, man.
And number 10, who's that girl playing Rita Lethal Weapon Westwood in a 2008 episode of Psych?
I just want to see Val.
Mickey James.
Goat James. Oh, man.
You got a good amount of those right.
You
Thanks
did.
for playing
Yeah.
Who's That Girl.
Yeah, I
I
usually
liked
bomb
that.
these.
Yeah, I knew a couple, but I was like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
At least you weren't here last week when Zach was asking non-wrestling questions at the tournament. I missed every single one.
Put your life together and focus on pop culture rather than your friends, your
Yeah.
family, and loved ones.
I'm focusing on big sweaty men in the ring. Okay, that's my life.
Big sweaty bed slapping. Love it to see it. All right. Well, that's come to the end of our show here. Ella, we got one more segment as a promo school. That is the main event we always do every week. We hope you enjoyed your time here. Real quick, where can they find you before we get to promo school once again?
If you go to my Twitter page, which is at it's Ella J ITSELLAJAY. If you go to my bio, it has a link tree with everything I'm doing with my podcast, with SEScoops, Women's Wrestling Talk, Bell to Bells, WrestleZone, my merch, and all of them. So if you go to the bio of my Twitter, you can find everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, go to her bio. It's getting a little cold now. Winter season is approaching. Get yourself a nice beanie. Wrestling gal.
We'll definitely put all your where we can find you in the comments, pinned comments.
Yes.
So check it out in the comments after this.
Yes. But of course, the main event of the evening. Zach, what is promo school this week?
Promo school this week is nice and simple. So, Ella J, what we do is promo school. These two independent wrestler guys right here, the pandemic kind of killed some momentum with them. So on the show, we keep at least their verbal skills and their mic skills strong. So we're going to do a nice simple one so you get the gist of it. And then maybe if we are lucky enough to have you on again, maybe you can partake in one. But they always have the saying, this person is so good they could wrestle a broom and it'd be a great match. So audience participation. Ella, I would like you to nominate these guys each one random inanimate object that they're going to cut a promo on.
Like the same?
No, one's going to have one, let's say
Okay.
Eric is going to cut a promo on a microwave. Knock is going to cut a promo on, I don't know, a chair. So any random objects.
Um,
And
pick
maybe
one-
I'll add this too. The more specific, like they teach you in improv here, ketchup is funny, but Heinz 57 is funnier because it's more specific.
What?
Okay.
I'm sorry. What? Your teacher just loves Heinz?
Hey, shut up.
So who wants to be assigned first?
Yeah, go tell me what. But Eric, you go first.
How about? Oh wait, Eric can go first. Okay. So Eric, you can cut a promo on a ceramic vase, VASE.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea what for the other one. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Knock, you can cut a promo on a hairbrush.
All right, let's do it. Oh, I'm ready.
I've been cutting these promos for years on hairbrushes.
Eric, you got it?
Before I start, what's the name of that Patrick Swayze movie with the
Ghost.
Dirty Dancing?
Thank you, Ghost. Yes. Okay. And I'm sorry. What's the purpose of this promo? Am I saying it's so?
I'm sorry. You are challenging a vase at a ceramic vase at name a pay-per-view, Ella.
Halloween Havoc.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, Mr. Regal, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you have the best product on your show and you haven't given me a match yet. I see you've got that giant wheel. We've got tons of matches. We've got tons of time. What else is on Wednesday? There's no Wednesday Night Wars. You have plenty of time to put me on the show, but you haven't. So you know what? I'm going to go out and find my own opponent. And I'm going to pick the perfect opponent. I'm going to pick an opponent that's going to bring in the ratings, baby. I'm going to bring an opponent that's going to bring me 5 stars. An opponent so good, you'll get a pay raise. The opponent I'm thinking of is the perfect ceramic vase, baby. I'm talking about molded by a ghost perfect. I'm talking about the type of vase you want to bring home to your mama. I'm talking about the kind of vase that when you slam it on the ground 5 times, it doesn't break. But I'm going to break it. I'm going to smash it. And then I'm going to go to your wife's house and make love to her. That's how good I am. I'm going to rule your show. I'm going to beat the vase. I'm going to pork your wife. I'm going to be your baby's daddy. So let's get one thing perfectly straight here. Halloween Havoc, it's going to be all about me. And tell your wife she better buy some Gatorades when I'm done. It's scene.
There's a shortage of Gatorades right now, though, unfortunately.
Really?
Man.
In the
Poor
world.
What is the world coming to?
Eric. Taxi cab confessions promo. Well done. Well done on the fly.
Shit.
All right. Ella J. Knock is fighting a hairbrush. What pay-per-view, TV show, anything? Where is he challenging this hairbrush?
First thing I think of is King of the Ring now.
Okay. King of the Ring. Okay.
Instead of a crown, you get a hairbrush. Or I don't know.
All right, so I'm not fighting the hairbrush. I have a bone to pick with a hairbrush right now, okay? Okay. This hairbrush, you're challenging me in the finals of the King of the Ring, and you want to take the crown and put it on your head when you can't even do your job and cover the hair on my girlfriend's head? Why is the hair in the shower all the time, hairbrush? What are you doing? I'm going to take you out on Friday night. I'm going to take you in that ring. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 when you look at me. And I don't care if you're the hairbrush from Sally's. I don't care if you're the hairbrush from wherever you come from. Online, ordered, doesn't matter. Because when I order you online pay-per-view, it'll be over.
I feel like your girl's gonna get mad at you.
I really hope she's not watching.
Why'd you tell him I'm going bald? Bringing Sally's into the mix. Good job. No, thank you for the audience participation, Ella J.
Thank you.
Much.
I want to preface Eric's the promo guy of the tag team, but I'm working on it.
And he's all the wrestling.
Did the whole molded thing? That was amazing.
I'm very glad you're here for a good week. Sometimes like Zach will give us a prompt and I'll just be like, I'm gonna do this and shit. All right, next week I'll get you next week. But this was a good one.
It was.
The way you molded that vase, Eric. I don't think they should allow you in a Pier 1 store.
Oh no. The FCC is gonna have some problems with me. Come that match.
Oh man. That is our show this week. Your boy Doc hosted, Infinity Champ Eric, Zach, Ella. Thanks again for joining us. Be sure to check out all the links in the description below. Any final words, Ella, before you head out?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Like honestly, super different than everything I do. You guys bring a lot of fun and conversation. Obviously, more than wrestling. I've never had like this Dungeons and Dragon. That was cool as heck. So however much time you spent on that was well worth it. That was so much fun. And I would definitely love to be back if you guys would have me back. That was so incredibly fun.
We'll fire Eric.
Oh yeah, I would be fine with that.
Walk out the door.
No,
right, we'll fire you now.
If you called me and said, "Hey, listen, guys, Ella's coming to join the podcast. We only got room for 3," I'd be like, you know what? I understand that. You got to trade for a superstar.
Oh man, but yeah, that is West Coast Pop episode 80. Eric, what are your final words for the week? Any videos coming out this week?
Any new videos? I honestly don't know. Life has been so busy, but. Yes. I mean, honestly, I just want to say this, Ella, before we go. You've honestly inspired me to try and up our videos because you're doing so much in the wrestling world, and you made time for us. You're doing an amazing job. So hopefully we get some videos out. MVP of the week this week, we usually pick who had a great week in wrestling, but there's been so many again this week that I want to nominate Ella for MVP of the week.
Hey.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. There's been a lot of crazy things happening this week, but I highly appreciate that.
Of course.
You win because you did not go to Saudi Arabia.
And you know what? You won your first debut match in bootleg DVD.
That is true.
True, without even having to step into a ring.
Exactly. This is how wrestlers can wrestle their entire life without any injuries. Just play D&D.
But they need you. They need you to narrate, though.
You know what?
Yeah.
My dream now is Brandon Cutler will just somehow find this video and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is my turf."
The associates, dude. Shout out to Eric for all that. Shout out to LJ, main man Zach. Where can they find us?
They can find us everywhere Ella J is. Check the descriptions, check the links. Follow her on social media. Great live streams too pop up. Everything you're doing is awesome. And again, great article in the PWI issue with the 150 women's picks. But again, the article, Empowerment, the NWA Makes Herstory at the Chase. Very, very, very well done. I love that article, Ella.
Thank you so much. I'm still like shocked that I was like even brought on board and had the opportunity to write about an event that I went to and like a lot of people that I love. It's still surreal, honestly.
The passion is in the article. That's why I love it so much. So great job.
Thank you.
Peace out, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Peace out. I remember. Shit. I had a line for this, but I forgot it. Oh well. Whatever. Peace out.
Are we still on?
No. I mean, we're still on. We're still on. We're still on. Peace out. Good night. Next week. Line.
I'm glad you do that during the